Welcome to the Guardianly podcast. I'm Garrett.
And I'm Lila. At Guardianly, we're on a mission to modernize the phone call experience, to make it safer, smarter, and more productive. A big part of that mission is protecting you from the growing crisis of scam and spam calls that target millions of people every day.
Technology alone isn't enough. Education is just as important. That's why we've created this series, to bring real scam stories to life, stories that are sometimes shocking, sometimes heartbreaking, but always full of lessons you can use to protect yourself and your loved ones.
And today, we're covering a new type of scam in our series, impersonation scams. These are scams where criminals pose as trusted organizations, tech companies, government agencies, even your bank, to gain your trust and steal your money. We'll see more of these cases in future episodes. Today's story is about Artemis Yaffe, a 77-year-old widow from Redwood City, California. She lost not just her savings, $1.8 million, but also her home. Her scam began with something many of us use every day, Amazon, and it spiraled into one of the cruelest impersonation scams we've seen.
So let's walk through what happened.
It began with a phone call. Yaffe was contacted by someone pretending to be an Amazon representative. They told her there had been suspicious purchases on her account. 4 computers she hadn't ordered.
She immediately said no, those weren't hers. The so-called rep then said he would connect her to Amazon's fraud department to get it sorted. But here's the catch. There was no Amazon rep at all. From the very beginning, it was scammers. And the transfer was simply handing her off to another member of the fraud ring.
From there, the fraud department rep escalated the fear. They told Yaffe that her social security number was being used by criminals to set up fake companies. Then they handed her off again, this time to someone posing as an IRS investigator.
That's when things got terrifying. The scammer told Yaffe she was tied to a criminal enterprise, that her identity was linked to illegal companies and activities. If she didn't act fast, she could lose everything.
And under this cloud of fear, the scammer gave her instructions. She needed to move her money to protect it. First, she tried wiring funds at her Bank of America branch, but staff there suspected something and refused.
But the scammers were listening. They literally had her on the phone in her pocket as she was turned down. And they coached her immediately after. Go to another bank, say you're investing in property in Hong Kong, tell them it's for a meditation and healing center.
So she did. She went to another bank branch, and the wires went through. Again and again. Over the next 2 months, she transferred her entire nest egg, $1.8 million.
And in the end, she even had to sell her home of 40 years.
Yaffe told the LA Times, "I wouldn't want anyone ever to go through this." She's now living in a rental, still reeling from the loss of her husband to cancer just a year before the scam.
Her story highlights not just the cruelty of impersonation scams, but also a systemic gap. While credit card fraud has strong protections, wire transfers don't. Even when victims are clearly being coerced, banks aren't legally required to reimburse them.
And that's part of why Yaffe filed a lawsuit. She believes banks should do more when elderly customers suddenly make massive, unusual transfers. Some employees did raise red flags. One even told her, "If you were my mother, I would not let you do this." But on the very same day, she was able to walk into another branch and complete the transfer.
It's a painful reminder. Until stronger protections are in place, the burden falls on consumers to be extra cautious.
So what can we learn from Yaffe's story?
First, verify the source. If someone claims to be from Amazon, your bank, or the IRS, don't trust a transfer call. Hang up and call the official number from the company's website.
Second, beware of escalation. Scammers often start small, like a suspicious Amazon purchase, and then escalate to something scarier, like the IRS or criminal accusations. That's a classic tactic to keep you scared and compliant.
Third, don't isolate yourself. Yaffe was told not to tell friends or family. That's a giant red flag. If you're ever told to keep something secret, that's the time to tell someone you trust.
And finally, wire transfers are final. Once money leaves your account, there's usually no getting it back. If someone pressures you to wire large sums quickly, stop, slow down, and verify.
So that's today's story, Artemis Yaffe's story. A reminder that impersonation scams can target anyone, and that fear and urgency are the scammer's sharpest tools.
Next time on the Guardianly podcast, we'll explore another real-life case. A different scheme, different tactics, but the same lesson. Scammers are out there, and awareness is your best protection.
Thanks for joining us today. If Yaffe's story resonated with you, share this episode with someone you care about. The more people we reach, the harder it becomes for scammers to succeed.
Until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and remember, Guardianly is here to protect your calls, your connections, and your peace of mind.